Well, ladies and gentlemen, it would seem as if President Trump and border czar Tom Homan have finally had enough. They are about to go scorched earth on sanctuary cities. You see, for decades now, these so-called sanctuary cities have openly defied federal immigration law, working tirelessly to harbor violent illegal immigrant invaders. But now, finally, something is about to be done about it. Now, President Trump has been back in the White House for just over 100 days now, and in that very short time frame, he's already managed to deport more than 140,000 of the country's most dangerous illegal immigrant invaders. And then, on top of that, experts estimate that another 1 million illegal immigrants have already self-deported. But even with all of that progress, sanctuary cities across the country have proven to be a stubborn and lawless obstacle. They've refused to cooperate with federal immigration enforcement and worse, have gone out of their way to shield criminal illegal immigrants from deportation. And so I want you all to take a look at what border czar Tom Homan had to say about this entire scenario just yesterday afternoon. But first, I do want to say real quick that if you guys enjoy the daily news updates, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton. But okay, take a look at this.
The president signed an executive order just this week threatening to defund sanctuary cities for their policies. Why not just arrest the leaders who are harboring and shielding illegal aliens, actually terrorists, from deportation?
Wait to see what's coming.
Yeah. And, well, real quick, your comments on the Wisconsin governor sending directives to state agencies to not comply with ICE and actually stop your deportation efforts.
Wait to see what's coming.
Any updates on the military?
I meant what I said. You can not support what we're doing. And you can support sanctuary cities. If that's what you want to do. But if you cross that line of impediment or knowingly harboring, concealing illegal alien, that is a felony. And we're treated as such.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but to me, that sounds like a warning. And not just any warning, it sounds like the Trump administration is getting ready to start arresting the radical progressive mayors of these sanctuary cities. And you know what? Thank God, because let's be real, these cities don't provide sanctuary for law-abiding Americans. The only sanctuary that they provide is for violent illegal immigrant invaders. For actual law-abiding American citizens, these sanctuary cities are pretty much hell on earth. The truth is, these radically progressive sanctuary city mayors have been intentionally and deliberately harboring illegal immigrant gang members, drug traffickers, and murderers, and actively obstructing ICE from doing its job. And so just like Tom Homan said, that makes them criminals, period. But you know what? Don't take it from me. Take a look at what the acting ICE director himself had to say about all of this yesterday afternoon.
The more they're going to double down or triple down, we're going to ramp it up more. We want to work with you, but if you don't want to work with the federal government, if you don't want to work with ICE, then we're going to make sure that we're doing all we can do to bring our law enforcement resources to that jurisdiction, and we're going to take care of those public safety threats. If you don't want to work with us, we're going to handle the problem.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. These radically progressive cities have been in open defiance of federal law for decades, and so now, finally, they're about to get what's coming. And you know what? Here's the thing. Federal immigration law wasn't handed down from the clouds. It was created through a democratic process. We, the American people, came together and said, no, we don't want our country to be overrun by millions of violent third world immigrants. That is how we got these federal immigration laws in the first place. But all of these sanctuary cities, well, they've chosen to spit in the face of that democratic mandate. So they're not just violating federal immigration law, they're also undermining the very concept of American democracy. So yeah, when these mayors are openly defying the will of the American people, openly breaking federal law, and actively helping criminal invaders avoid deportation, they should all be prosecuted, no holds barred. And so, folks, that is what the Trump administration is getting ready to do. Border czar Tom Homan's warning is crystal clear. If you are defying federal immigration law and obstructing deportations, you are going to face the consequences. And I'll tell you what, between you and me, those consequences are long overdue. And despite what the left-wing media might be trying to tell you, the majority of Americans are actually in favor of this happening. In fact, take a look at what none other than CNN had to say about all of this just the other day.
Deport all undocumented immigrants. Voters favoring the government trying to deport all 11 million of them. Back in 2016, just 38% of voters wanted the government to try to deport all 11 million undocumented immigrants. Compared to where we are in 2025, 56%, the majority. The American people have come a long way on this issue, much closer to Donald Trump, and I think that's a big part of the reason why Americans are increasingly saying the country is on the right track when it comes to immigration policy, and why Donald Trump's net approval rating on that issue is in the positive.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Even the left-wing propaganda outlet CNN has to acknowledge the majority of Americans want every single one of these illegal immigrants out of the country. And so that is exactly what the Trump administration is working on doing. Systematically, decisively, and unapologetically. Mass deportations, criminal crackdowns, and yes, even potential arrests for the corrupt mayors who have shielded these invaders for so long. And now you just know that when these radically progressive sanctuary city mayors finally start getting arrested, the left-wing media is going to scream about how much of a totalitarian dictator President Trump is. But keep in mind, for decades now, these sanctuary city mayors have chosen to ignore our democratically agreed upon federal immigration laws, placing the needs of illegal immigrant invaders above the needs of everyday Americans. And so finally, something is being done to hold these anti-American traitors accountable, and finally, each and every one of these so-called sanctuary cities will be forced to stop harboring illegal immigrant invaders and to comply with the America First agenda. Finally, our American streets will be made safe again for actual hard-working, tax-paying American citizens. And so you know what, folks? Thank God, because I'll tell you what, this is what it looks like when we start putting America first. Now, folks, before we wrap up with today's video, I want to say real quick that I've actually gone ahead and made a community Facebook page where I'll be posting additional news and updates as it relates to all of this. So if you guys use Facebook, check out the pinned comment down below and give that page a follow. But everyone, that is going to be a wrap for today's video, so please go down below and drop a comment. Let me know what you think about all of this. Please like the video while you're down there. As I said earlier, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton with my daily struggle here on YouTube. Thank you all very much for tuning in today, and of course, as always, stay safe.